Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Jedd Fisch to UCLA. We're sitting here on a Friday morning and it feels a little bit more real than it felt the last couple of weeks. Now, regardless if you support this hire, if you do not support this hire, if you're a UCLA fan, man, this should fire you up because what does this tell us? This tells us one, UCLA is prepared to make a pretty damn big swing at their next hire. But number two, and more importantly, they are prepared to allocate the necessary resources to get this program back on track. Because I'll tell you this, don't matter what head coach they hire if they're not prepared to support this program the right way. And we haven't seen that for the last couple of years. Now, why am I saying that? Man, there would be no interest from Jedd Fisch if UCLA was not prepared to change how they're supporting this program. Because you look at what he's doing at Washington, he's got a really young, talented quarterback in Demond Williams. They're winning football games on Saturdays. They got a really nice 2026 class coming in. There are a lot of good things that are going in the right direction at Washington. The mere fact that there seems to be legitimate interest from both sides, as an outsider looking in, that's telling me that UCLA is prepared to make this head coaching job a lot more attractive than a lot of people think. Now, that's another conversation I do want to get into. There's this narrative going around that UCLA is not a very good job. Number one, it does matter if this program, that this university wants to change how they're supporting this program. Because I think I look at UCLA, I look at all that talent in the state of California. I look at this team moving into the Big Ten and say, look, this is a very attractive job. I think there are a lot of coaches that understand how to build rosters and understand how the recruiting side of things look and say, hey, UCLA out there on the West Coast in the state of California, this is a program that you can build a damn good roster with. Now, it all starts with this program starting to support a little bit more and kind of allocate the resources necessary. But if you get that and you get the right head coach, I mean, there's no reason you don't have the ability to build rosters that can compete at a very, very high level in the Big Ten. I think the fact that Jedd Fisch, because look, if UCLA called Jedd Fisch and said, hey, Jedd Fisch, we want you to come back to UCLA, he would hang up the phone. If they said, hey, we're not going to give you any resources, it's going to be the same situation that DeShaun Foster had. He would hang up the phone, not even consider it. The fact that there seems to be some legitimate buzz is telling me that UCLA is prepared to allocate the resources necessary to get this program back to where it belongs. That's what fires me up the most. Now, I'll say this on the flip side. I'm also a monster fan of Jedd Fisch. Like, I think this would be a really damn good hire for UCLA. We'll get into those reasons. I also want to talk about a few other names that are generating some buzz. Before we do, and as always, to the UCLA fans, hey, number one, I'm on Twitter and I'm on the message boards with you. And I know Jedd Fisch is a little bit of a polarizing candidate. Would love to hear from you guys in the comment section. If you don't like Jedd Fisch, number one, would love to hear the reasons why. But number two, who is your ideal candidate? Let it fly in the comment section. We'll talk a lot about this over the next couple of weeks and months because I'll say this, I am very intrigued. Because if I think you get the right guy running this program with the adequate resources necessary, this team can win a lot of football games. There ain't no question about it. Appreciate you guys. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into it. Now, whenever you're talking about a coaching candidate, there are always going to be pros and cons. In my personal opinion, there are a hell of a lot more pros about Jedd Fisch than there are cons. Really, the only con here is, and I want to get this out of the way real quick, man, would he leave for Florida in the next couple of years? The biggest concern circulating around Jedd Fisch, at least to my understanding with the UCLA fans, is that, excuse me, if he wins a lot of games, is he going to stay at UCLA? That shouldn't be that big of a concern because if that becomes a concern, that means you hired the right guy. That's almost a plus, right? And I'll say this about Jedd Fisch: he seems to love UCLA, man. Like I think again one of the reasons why he would consider leaving Washington, going to UCLA. I think he wants to be there too. Now, I wouldn't get all that concerned about how long he would stay Because if in 5 years, if his name is getting circulated for the head job at Florida, guess what that means? Like UCLA's won a lot of football games there, and they're getting this program back on the track. Now, here are some other reasons that I really like Jedd Fisch. Number one, as a pure football coach, man, I don't think there's many better. Like if you have two teams that are equally as talented, Jedd Fisch is probably winning that game more times than not. I think he's one of the best pure coaches of football in the sport. And I'm a Michigan fan, and I love Sharon Moore. I don't think Sharon Moore's a great coach. Like you give Sharon Moore the same amount of talent as Jedd Fisch, and they play each other. Jedd Fisch winning that football game, I feel pretty damn confident about that. So I think he's a really good football coach. But probably the most important here, man, he's a proven builder of programs. Like, look what he did at it. I should preface it with this. He's a proven builder of a program in the modern era of college football, which is really important. Sorry about that. Got a little cough I'm working through. There was a lot of smoke around a coach like Ed Orgeron. And look, would that fire up a lot of UCLA fans? Yeah, 100%. He'd be a very fun coach to talk about over the next couple of years. My problem with Ed O is that he's got zero experience in this modern era of the sport. And to me, that matters. Like how you allocate your NIL funds, how you use rev share, how you evaluate in the portal. All of that stuff is so new to the sport. Grabbing a coach off the streets that's never been in the sport under this era, I don't know if I love. I look at Jedd Fisch, what he did at Arizona. Number one, his evaluations at the high school ranks were freaking elite. And he recruited the heck out of California, which, hey, that's another really, really important storyline. You want a coach that has California ties, that is able to recruit this state. Because guess what? You ain't winning at UCLA if you don't do a good job in state. There's way too much talent in your backyard that if you ignore it, you're not going to have success. I have a lot of confidence that Jedd Fisch can come to UCLA, recruit the state of California really well. He's recruited the state of California well at Washington. He also did it really well at Arizona, too. Number two, I think he's a really good hirer, if that's the right word. What I mean by that is when I'm evaluating a head coach, there's a couple of things I look for. It's like, number one, are you a good football coach? Are you a winner? Jedd Fisch certainly checks that box. Number two, can you recruit? Jedd Fisch checks that box. Number three, how well do you hire the staff around you? That is becoming one of the most important conversations. Go look at all the elite head coaches across the sport. Yes, they are personally really good coaches, but they do a really damn good job surrounding themselves with good coaches as well. Nick Saban always did it at Alabama. I would argue Dan Lanning is doing a phenomenal job of that with Oregon. Jedd Fisch has shown us that he can make some really, really good hires and he can build a roster. So when you're a good football coach, you make good hires, you can build a roster the right way. What box is left unchecked, right? And then I compare Jedd Fisch to the other names that we've been hearing. I mean, there are a couple other names that are getting a lot of buzz. Brent Brennan is one of them. That to me would be one of the worst hires you could make. Like, what has Brent Brennan done that would inspire a ton of energy with that hire? I don't think he's a great recruiter. I think he's a solid football coach. I don't know if he's great, and he's never really done it at this level, right? I think if you hire Brent Brennan, I think there's not a ton of buzz that gets injected in this program. But I'll say this: if you go up to Washington, if Washington finishes 8-4, 9-3, and you go poach their head coach, all of a sudden that gets some buzz around this program. And the other one, Dave Aranda, wouldn't hate Dave Aranda. Don't know if I'd love it. I'll say this: the one that does intrigue me here is Tosh Lupoy. I mean, I look at Tosh Lupoy and say this: yeah, the one knock is that he's never been a head coach before, so there is some inherent risk when you hire a guy that's never been the head coach. Number one, if I'm hiring a coordinator, I care about what coaches they've coached under. Tosh Lupoy. He's coached under Nick Saban at Alabama, and he's coaching under Dan Lanning at Oregon. That's great. I mean, Tosh Lupoy is getting a firsthand experience of how to run one of the best programs across the country from two different coaches. Number two, he's from California, has really strong ties to the state, and is a proven really good recruiter. which is a massive plus if you're at UCLA. Again, going back to what we said, if you want to win at UCLA, you better damn well recruit the state. Lastly, I, I, he well, those are the two last things I had is strong Cali ties and a workhorse on the recruiting trail. Because you go look at him as an assistant coach, he's a consistently one of the best recruiters. Tosh Lupoy would excite me, but I think Jedd Fisch is the most complete hire. Yeah, a hire that checks all the boxes that you're looking for. We'll close it out there. Hey, let it fly in the comment section. I'm sure there'll be some other names that get thrown around over the next couple of weeks. We'll continue to break them down. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.